Check, yo. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay, y'all hit me out there? DMV, DC, who got skills? Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the DC Commission on Arts and Humanities for inviting me to participate once again in such a wonderful event. Very soon, we will have the pleasure of hearing some of DC's most talented students as they interpret their favorite poems in their own voices. 10 students will take this stage, and one of them will move on to the national finals to compete for a $20,000 college scholarship. I'd like to take a moment and recognize the teaching artists, Reggie Kabiko, Nubia Kai, Amoja Sumler, Fatima Kwander, Jonathan Tucker, and Brandon Douglas. They have spent the last few months working with teachers and students to prepare them for the competition. They are talented poets and performers in their own right. Please, another round of applause for them. It's not easy work. Now, on to the competition. We have 10 schools in the house, so let's see who's in the studio today. Banneker High School, Capital City Public Charter School, Cardoza High School, Columbia Heights Educational Campus, E.L. Haynes Public Charter School, Eastern High School, McKinley Tech High School, Seed Public Charter School, St. Anselm's Abbey School, and Washington Latin Public Charter School. All right, let's meet our judges. Letitia Jones. Letitia is a local playwright, poet, and diversity educator in the DC metro area. As a theater teaching artist, she has worked with Imagination Stage, Sitar Art Center, Young Playwrights Theater, and DC Public Schools. Give her a round of applause, please. Chris Wilson. Chris is the program manager of the nonprofit Only Make Believe, which creates and performs interactive plays for children in hospitals. When he is not in the office, Chris also writes and performs and directs plays for elementary age kids and is a proud member of the Actors Equity Association. Let's hear it for him, please. Next, we have Jack Novak. Jack Novak is a DC-based actor, playwright, and teaching artist. He's performed at Imagination Stage, Faction of Fools, the Source Festival, and Washington Improv Theater, along with numerous others. And his plays have received awards and productions locally and nationally. He is also a teaching artist, leading classes on acting, improvisation, mime, and other subjects with Imagination Stage, Washington Improv Theater, Signature Theater, Everyman Theater, and Educational Theater Company. Let's hear it for Jack. Next, we have Tara Herman Saldana. Tara is the Program and Development Manager at the Theater Lab School of Dramatic Arts. She has her master's in theater from the University of Kentucky and her bachelor's in theater performance and religious studies from Capital University. Thank you so much for all of y'all and all that you're going to be doing today. We know you do not have an easy job. You give them one more round of applause. And you may have noticed over there, we have another member with us, someone who's going to be keeping the music flowing throughout the whole event. I'll let him introduce himself.
DJ Stylist.
Here are the rules for the contestants. There are 3 rounds. In the first 2 rounds, each participant will recite their poem. Each participant will have 4 minutes to perform. The 3 top scoring participants will continue to perform in the final round. The judges will judge in the areas of performance, physical presence, voice and articulation, appropriateness of dramatization, evidence of understanding, and overall performance. Scores will be tabulated at the end of each round to determine the winners at the conclusion of all rounds. The students with the most cumulative points will be named the district champion. Contestants compete for prizes, such as the 3rd place contestant school will receive $200 for the purchase of poetry books. Clap it up for that. The second place contestant will receive a $100 prize and $200 prize to their school for the purchase of poetry books. And the first place contestant will receive $200 and his or her school will receive $500 for the purchase of poetry books. Are we ready to meet the contestants? All right. And now it is time for our first contestant. Coming from Banneker High School, please put your hands together for Lee Pendleton.
Violins by Rowan Ricardo Phillips. He never saw a violin, but he saw a lifetime of violence. This is not to presume that if he had simply seen a violin, he would have seen less violence, or that living among violins as though they were boulangeries or toppling stacks of other glazed goods like young adult fiction would have made the violence less crack and more cocaine. Less, of course, and more, why, God, oh, why? More of one thing doesn't rhyme with one thing. A swill of stars doesn't rhyme with star. A posse of poets doesn't rhyme with poet. We are all in prison. This is the brutal lesson of the 21st century. Swill like a sour stone through the vein of the beast who watches you while you eat. Our eternal host, the chum fiddler, the better tomorrow, 2016.
And now, from Capital City Public Charter School, Julissa Fillets.
No Coward Soul is Mine by Emily Bronte. No coward soul is mine, no trembler in the world's storm-troubled sphere. I see heaven's glory shine, and faith shines equal, arming me from fear. O God within my breast, almighty ever-present deity, life that in me hast rest, as I, undying life, have power in thee. Vain are the thousand creeds that move men's hearts unutterably vain, worthless as withered weeds or idlest froth amid the boundless main, to waken doubt in one, holding so fast by thy infinity, so surely anchored on the steadfast rock of immortality. With wide embracing love, thy spirit animates eternal years, pervades and broods above, changes, sustains, dissolves, creates, and rears. Though earth and moon were gone, and suns and universes ceased to be, and thou were left alone, every existence would exist in thee. There is not room for death, nor atom that his might could render void. And what thou art, being and breath, and what thou art may never be destroyed.
Now, from Cardoza High School, Michelle Reyes.
Auto Lullaby by Franz Wright. Think of a sheep knitting a sweater. Think of your life getting better and better. Think of your cat asleep in the tree. Think of that spot where you once need your knee. Think of a bird that stands in your palm. Try to remember the 21st Psalm. Think of a big pink horse galloping south. Think of a fly and close your mouth. If you feel thirsty, then drink from your cup. The birds will keep singing until they wake up.
And now from Columbia Heights Educational Campus, Xavier Boone.
The Paradox, Paul Lawrence Dunbar. I am the mother of sorrows. I am the ender of grief. I am the bud and the blossom. I am the late falling leaf. I am thy priest and thy poet. I am thy serf and thy king. I cure the tears of the heartsick. When I come near, they shall sing. White are my hands as a snowdrop. Swart are my fingers as clay. Fair is my brow as the midnight. Dark is my... Fair is my brow as the day. Dark is my frown as the midnight. Battle and war are my minions. Doing my will is divine. I am a calmer of passions. Peace is a nursling of mine. Speak to me gently or curse me. Seek me or fly from my sight. I am thou fool in the morning. Thou art my slave in the night. Down to the grave will I take thee, out from the war of the strife. Then shalt thou see me and know me, death then no longer, but life. Then shalt thou sing in my coming, kiss me with passionate breath, clasp me and smile to have thought of me, aught save the foment of death. Come to me, brother, when weary, come to me when thy lonely heart swells. I will guide thy footsteps and lead thee down where the dream woman dwells. Thank you.
And now, from E.L. Haynes Public Charter School, Jeff Egerton.
Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be from my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
And now, from Eastern High School, Denitra McDonald.
Okay. War Widow by Chris Ebony. The telephone never rings. Still, you pick it up. Smile into the static. The breath of those you've loved, long dead. The leaf you pick from the fall rises and dips away with every ridge. Fingers stiff from time you trace, staring off into a distance limned by cataracts and other collected debris. You have forgotten none of the long ago joy of an ice cream truck in its summer song. Between the paving stones, between tea, a cup, and the sound of you pouring, between the time you woke up that morning and the time when the letter came. A tired sorrow like an old flagellant, able only to tease with a weak sting. Riding the elevator all day, floor after floor after floor. Each stop, some small victory whittled from the hard stone of death. You smile. They used to write epics about moments like this. Thank you.
And now from McKinley Technology High School, Kayla Carroll.
Hello, I'll be reciting Auto Lullaby by France Wright. Think of a sheep knitting a sweater. Think of your life getting better and better. Think of your cat asleep in a tree. Think of that spot where you once skinned your knee. Think of a bird that stands in your palm while you try to remember the 21st Psalm. Think of a big old pink horse galloping south. Think of a fly and close your mouth. If you are thirsty, then drink from your cup. The birds will keep singing until they wake up. Thank you.
And now from Seed Public Charter School, Kendris Johnson.
Lines written in early spring by William Wordsworth. I heard 1,000 blended notes while in a grove I sat reclined, in that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. To her fair works did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. Through primrose tufts in that green bower, the periwinkle trailed its wreaths, and 'tis my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. The birds around me hopped and played. Their thoughts I cannot measure, but the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. If this belief from heaven be sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament what man has made of man? Thank you.
And now from St. Anselm's Abbey, John Paul Libonati.
Chorus Sacerdotum by Baron Brookfolk Greville, from Mustafa. O wearisome condition of humanity, born under one law, to another bound, vainly begot and yet forbidden vanity, created sick, commanded to be sound. What meaneth nature by these diverse laws? Passion and reason self-division cause. Is it the mark or majesty of power to make offenses that it may forgive? Nature herself doth her own self deflower, to hate those airs she herself doth give. For how should man think that he may not do, if nature did not fail, and punish too? Tyrant to others, to herself unjust, only commands things difficult and hard, forbids us all things which it knows is lust, makes easy pains, impossible reward. If nature did not take delight in blood, she would have made more easy ways to good. We, that are bound by vows and by promotion, with pomp of holy sacrifice and rites, to teach belief in good and still devotion, to preach of heaven's wonders and delights. Yet, when each of us in his own heart looks, he finds the God there, far unlike his books.
And now, from Washington Latin Public Charter School, Felicity Ryan.
A Boat Beneath a Sunny Sky by Lewis Carroll. A boat beneath a sunny sky, lingering onward dreamily in an evening of July. Children 3 that nestle near, eager eye and willing ear, pleased a simple tale to hear. Long has paled that sunny sky, echoes fade and memories die. Autumn frosts have slain July. Still she haunts me, phantom-wise, Alice moving under skies never seen by waking eyes. Children, yet, the tale to hear, eager eye and willing ear, lovingly shall nestle near. In a wonderland they lie, dreaming as the days go by, dreaming as the summers die. Ever drifting down the stream, lingering in the golden gleam. Life, what is it but a dream? Thank you.
There you have it, the top 10 poets from DC. Please give them a round of applause. Now, while the judges are tabulating their scores before we move into the second round, I have a treat for you. In my introduction, it was said I'm the youth programs coordinator at Split This Rock. Split This Rock is a poetry and social justice organization, and we have young people that participate in all sorts of programs, from the DC Youth Slam team to the after-school creative writing programs that we have in about 30 schools throughout the district and DC metropolitan and Virginia area. In addition, we have a tribe of young people who have graduated from our high school programs but are out in the world learning how to be teaching artists and performing in all sorts of places, from the White House to the Kennedy Center. Tonight, I have 2 such young people who are here to perform poetry for you. So, from Split This Rock's Ushindi Performance Tribe, please put your hands together for Allende Grimes and Aisha Gardner.
Hello, lovely people. How are we doing tonight? Good? All right. Well, my name is Aisha Gardner. I'm with Split This Rock in the Ushindi group tribe. I'm one of the aged out poets. I want to thank you guys for having us real quick, but we're going to transition from some spoken poetry, into some cool stuff, So on the count of 3. When I say spoken, you say words. Spoken, spoken. Word. When I say to be, you say heard. To be, to be, to be. Shout out to the friend who left me in the storm, who looked up at the sky and said, "Girl, it is cloudy." Pulled out an umbrella and walked smooth into a place I used to call home for shelter. Waved high, or maybe that was bye, from the window while I was left out for the elements to wash out. I bet you didn't know that erosion will make you mountain if you choose never to crumble, so shout out to the friend who tried to make me crumble, who used their knowledge of my insecurities as confetti for the sidebar party I was not invited to, who taught me gossip is as easy to exchange as whispers, but it's rather hard to chuckle under your breath, especially when the fool's face is still full front to see, who didn't care to share the stats higher when it was jokes on me, played me for clown. Well, the cool thing about clowns is that after all the kiddies point and laugh, they're the ones who go home with all the tricks in the bag and the talent. I mean, courage you lack to paint the smile on my face again tomorrow. So shout out to the one who would help me do my makeup every day after the show. Prompt me to sit my happy hindquarters down and wipe the tears from my eyes with sweet Southern woman thumbs and say, child, they always gonna come for you. And if there's truth to everything, it's all about how you take it, boo, so I call her sister. Because blood couldn't make our bond any thicker. She's a stick-with-your brave heart who challenged me to stand face-to-face with the truth and love it. Handed me a mirror with a note attached that said, this is where it starts. So to the friend who helped me love myself, thank you. When I looked at the reflection staring back, I saw too many haphazardly bandaged wounds. The residual effects of searching for acceptance in San Andreas type people. Those who will not disclose the dormancy of their faults until 11th hour convenience earthquakes and swallows pride whole for you. So to the friend I tried to fix, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I know now that we are nothing but stained glass mosaic, missing piece, distorted image, majesty, not because we're broken. We just don't have it all together yet. We're still learning, still growing, waiting for the sun to shine and redeem us for what we are truly worth. But just know, if I ever kept you close enough for sympathy pains, I know your worth in diamonds that have flashbacks to being coal, and it never mattered what form you took for the day. See, my granddaddy used to say, friends come and go like reason, season, or lifetime. You are the company you keep, and water will always seek its own level. So you better be mindful when you give out that title of a friend. Thank you guys. So coming up next, give it up for Allende.
Yes, peace and blessings to all the beautiful souls that I'm looking at right now. I want to give a real big shout out to all of these 10 young people right here. They're marvelous, brilliant, for stepping up here and listening to that inner conscience to try something new, right? I competed in this contest when I was in high school, came in second place. Shout out to Paul Lawrence Dunbar and Mary Baraka for the melanated and Nubian nutrients. So, yeah, my name is Allende Sekou. I want to encourage everybody. We're in a little break right now, so I feed off the crowd. So if you want to snap it, if you feel something that particularly touches your spirit, feel free. You might want to say, Jesus. That's like sheesh and Jesus, all in a new word. We're I'm saying, very innovative with the language. But if you're ready for more poetry, say word. Word. If you're ready for more truth, say word. Word. I am not your minority. I am not a minority. This slur of slick bigotry be too brittle to handle the history housed in my hair. Whoever calls me a minority must not know that the ancestors hold the keys to these locks. I dedicate my words to Asada, on the run from the devil with the hands of our father, holding her revolutionary soul in secrecy like she did. I want to escape the confines of colonial categorization. I love myself, so I don't have to rely on the outside world to do it for me. And I love my black because my black loves deeper than the skin that I am living in. I have come to erase self-hate. I am not a minority. I am more. I am Nubian. I am Zulu. I am Olmecan. I am native. I am less than no one. No one breathing the same air as me. My melaninated lungs pump breath into the word that became flesh. Colonizers disguised as the world's first travelers decided to study the scrolls that Jah scribed into the lineage of my people. My line has no parallel. We don't have to think so linear. My black flashes eternal like a comet, constellations connecting the dots to the sun, lighting my black bloodstream. My skin is brown, like the ground that we all come from. My black has been here for 5/5 of existence. I urge eugenicists and their descendants to get their math right. I am not ashamed of my culture. So don't shame my culture saying that it is less than. Let me break it down. At the expense of this free market, less than tattoos illegitimate onto my skin. It feels like I gotta check my ego when I check the box, but I am not a minority, and these be the words that will illustrate liberation. Freedom. Freedom feels like walking on New World water and disintegrating all the danger, whether the danger be red, white, or blue strangers, sleeper holding our teens, or corporate control over our food, our water, and our identity. Don't you call me a minority. That type of language ain't too far from boy, from thug, and that's not the language that's gonna tell me what my blackness means. When you see me, best believe you see his story, from the empresses of Nubia to the warriors on Alabama Avenue. Know, my brothers and my sisters, that we are blessed, and we are blessed because we can still reflect the word of the Most High. And as long as we can reflect the will of the Most High, whenever somebody comes at you improper and calls you a minority, don't you hesitate to tell them, I am not a minority. Clap it up for your beautiful selves. Clap it up for the young people. Let's have a good time.
How's y'all feeling out there? Yeah? Y'all enjoy that performance? Yeah, give them a round of applause, please. Now, we are going to jump right back into our competition. Our participants are ready to share their second poems with you. First to come to the stage is Lee Pendleton from Banneker High School.
Backdrop addresses Cowboy by Margaret Atwood. Star-spangled cowboy, sauntering out of the almost silly west. On your face, a porcelain grin tugging a papier-mâché cactus on wheels behind you with a string. You are innocent as a bathtub, full of bullets. Your righteous eyes, your laconic trigger fingers people the streets with villains. As you move, the air in front of you blossoms with targets, and you leave behind you a heroic trail of desolation. Beer bottles slaughtered by the side of the road, bird skulls bleaching in the sunset. I ought to be watching. From behind a cliff or a cardboard storefront, when the shooting starts, hands clasped in admiration, but I am elsewhere. Then what about me? What about the I confronting you on that border you are always trying to cross? I am the horizon you ride towards, the thing you can never lasso. I am also what surrounds you. My brain scattered with your tin cans, bones, empty shells, the litter of your invasion. I am the space you desecrate as you pass through.
And once again, from Capital City Public Charter School, Julissa Velez.
"100 Love Sonnets, number 17, by Pablo Neruda, translated by Mark Eisner. I don't love you as if you were a rose of salt, topaz, or an arrow of carnations that propagated fire. I love you as one loves certain obscure things secretly between the shadow and the soul. I love you as the plant that doesn't bloom, but carries the light of those flowers hidden within itself. And thanks to your love, the tight aroma that arose from earth lives dimly in my body. I love you without knowing how, or when, or from where. I love you directly without problems or pride. I love you like this because I don't know any other way to love, except in this form in which I am not, nor you. So close that your hand upon my chest is mine. So close that your eyes close with my dreams.
Once again, from Cardoza High School, Michelle Reyes.
Let It Be Forgotten by Sarah Tisdale. Let it be forgotten as a flower is forgotten. Forgotten as a fire that once was singing gold. Let it be forgotten forever and ever. Time is a kind friend. He will make us old. If anyone asks, say it was forgotten. As a flower, as a fire, as a hushed footfall in a lone, forgotten snow. Thank you.
From Columbia Heights Educational Campus, Xavier Boone.
Broken Promises by David Kirby. I have met them in dark alleyways, limping and one-armed. I have seen them playing cards under a single candlelight and tried to join in, but they refused me rudely. I have seen them in the foyers of theaters, coming back late from intermission, long after everyone has taken their seats. I have seen them in deserted shopping malls, peering at things they can never buy. I have seen them in woods where I too have once wandered. This morning I caught one, small and stupid, too slow to get away. It was only a promise I had made myself long ago, but I had forgotten. But it kicked and screamed at me and ran to join the others, who looked at me with reproach in their long, sad faces. I drew near to them, but they scurried away, even though they will sleep in my yard tonight. I hate them for their ingratitude. I, who have kept countless promises, as dead as long as Shakespeare's children. You bastards, I screamed at them. You have to love me. I gave you life. Thank you.
From E.L. Haynes Public Charter School, Jeff Egerton.
We Wear the Mask by Paul Lawrence Dunbar. We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile, With torn and bleeding hearts, we smile, and mouth with myriad subtleties. But why should the world be overwise and counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but O great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh, the clay is vile beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise. We wear the mask. Thank you.
From Eastern High School, Denitra McDonald.
The Maid's Lament by Walter Savage Landor. I loved him not, and yet now he is gone. I feel I am alone. I checked him while he spoke, yet could he speak? At last I would not check. For reasons not to love him once I sought, and worried all my thought to vex myself in him. I now would give my love, could he but live, who lately lived for me. And when he found 'twas vain and holy ground, he hid his face amid the shades of death. I waste for him my breath, who wasted his for me. But mine returns, and his lorn bosom burns with stifling heat, heaving it up in sleep and waking me to weep. Tears that had melted his soft heart for years, wept he as bitter tears. Merciful God, such was his latest prayer. These may she never share. Quieter his breath, his breast more cold than daisies in the mold where children spill athwart the churchyard gate. His name and life's brief date. Pray for him, gentle souls, whoever you may be, and pray too for me. Thank you.
From McKinley Technology High School, Kayla Carroll.
Song of the Feet by Nikki Giovanni. It is appropriate that I sing the Song of the Feet. I trampled the American wilderness, forged frontier trails, outran the mob in Tulsa, got caught in Philadelphia, and am still unreparated. I soldiered on in Korea, jungled through Vietnam, sweated out Desert Storm, caved my way through Afghanistan, tunneled the World Trade Center, and on the worst day of my life, walked behind JFK, shouldered MLK, stood embracing Sister Betty. I wiggle my toes in the sands of time, trusting the touch that controls my motion, basking in the warmth of the embrace. Days ends offer with warm, salty water. It is appropriate that I sing the praise of the feet. I am a Black woman.
From Seed Public Charter School, Kendris Johnson.
The Affliction of Richard by Robert Bridges. Love not too much, but how, when thou hast made me such, and dost thy gifts bestow, how can I love too much? Though I must fear to lose, and to drown my joys in care, with all its thorns I choose the path of love and prayer. Though thou, I know not why, didst kill my childish trust, that breach of toil which I repair, though I must. And spite of frighting schemes, with which the fiends of hell blaspheme thee in my dreams, so far I have hoped well. But what the heavenly key, what marvel in me wrought, shall quite exculpate thee? I have no shadow of thought. What am I that complain? The love from which began. My question, sad and vain, justifies thee to man. Thank you.
From St. Anselm's Abbey, John Paul Libonati.
The Arrow and the Song by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For so swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow it in its flight. I breathed a song into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song? Long, long afterward, in an oak, I found the arrow still unbroke, and the song, from beginning to end, I found again in the heart of a friend. Thank you.
From Washington Latin Public Charter School, Felicity Ryan.
The Children's Hour by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Between the dark and the daylight, when the night is beginning to lower, comes a pause in the day's occupations. That is known as the Children's Hour. I hear in the chamber above me the patter of little feet, the sound of a door that is opened, and voices soft and sweet. From my study, I see in the lamplight, descending the broad hall stair, grave Alice and laughing Allegra, and Edith with golden hair. A whisper, and then a silence. Yet I know by their merry eyes, they're plotting and planning together to take me by surprise. A sudden rush from the stairway, a sudden raid from the hall. By 3 doors left unguarded, they enter my castle wall. They climb up into my turrets, o'er the arms and back of my chair. If I try to escape, they surround me. They seem to be everywhere. They almost devour me with kisses, their arms about me entwine, till I think of the Bishop of Bingen in his mouse tower on the Rhine. Do you think, oh blue-eyed banditti, because you have scaled the wall, such an old mustache as I am is not a match for you all? I have you fast in my fortress, and will not let you depart. will put you down into the dungeon in the round tower of my heart. And there, I will keep you forever. Yes, forever and a day, till the walls shall crumble to ruin and molder in dust away. Thank you.
There you have it. That is round 2. Each poet has done 2 poems. Give them all a round of applause. I just want to say I have appreciated everything you all have done, not just when they've gotten up here and said the poems perfectly, but you know, the real life lessons that when they get up here and sometimes stumble, that all of them have collected themselves and kept going. That shows just as much character. And now while the judges and our tabulation staff are putting all the numbers together, we would like to welcome to the stage local artist Natalie Illum.
Thank you. I think it'll pick me up. Yeah. Yes. Hi, everybody. How are you? Is everybody having a great time? What about the students? Are you still having fun? You still have to have fun no matter what happens. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. All that hard work. I'm going to do 2 poems. The first one is about me. The second one, I wish I didn't have to write. It's called What the Brain Hemorrhage Says. Pretty blackout, soft, supple cortex. I cannot guarantee that you will be cerebral, so focus on all those beautiful black holes. You might have nothing but ether and wish to stand on, so don't focus on all those other people with their light box brains, their neurons firing like a symphony. All that beautiful cartography is nothing but chaos. Maybe you're lucky. Better a still room than an anxious house. Better no ballet lessons than a choreographer's rage. Look at what I've spared you. I'll stop the bleeding now if you give in to the crooked feet, these crutches. Maybe I'll be nice and leave you Broca's area intact and nestled above your left ear. Look at all that pretty activity. Your own supernova inside a dead tundra. There's no need to cry into either hemisphere. No need to resist what is spastic. I know I made it hard for you, but relax, baby. I gave you all the verbs you'll ever need. Be grateful. I left your tongue alone. Thank you. Thank you. This next poem I wrote right after this event happened. It seems appropriate, though I wish it was completely inappropriate and ridiculous to write. This is called What the Sandy Hook Gun Said. When he forced me to enter an elementary school, I never wanted to be more human. If my barrel was a throat, I would have said run. Turned my ammunition into fingers, I would have twisted myself into metal detector, anything to stop him from entering that classroom before he could stop 26 heartbeats to silence his own rage. But guns cannot fire their own warning shots. I cannot sever the triggers in a sick brain any more than I can sever the noose that still hangs from the tree. I cannot turn bullets into paper tigers any more than Congress can turn tombstones into legislation. Please use me for something other than bloodshed. Don't assume I was made to destroy families clip by clip. Hang me in a museum. I want to be an exhibit. Let my empty chamber echo, never again. Thank you.
One more time for Natalie, please. This poem is dedicated to all people who are in long-term recovery, those who are seeking recovery, and to the families of those who have lost people to addiction. And my friend John. The last time I saw you alive, I wish I would have talked ugly to you. Said, put the straw down. No, I don't want to take another line. I should be writing them. My friend, you are a composer of music and magic. Instruct your limbs to serve a purpose greater than self-indulgence. Do not be fooled into thinking your pain has sharper teeth than anyone else's. I had a chance, but said nothing because I was high. This is how I got started. A bottle of Jack and a mirror, memories and scissors, dreams drenched in ether, sliced by razors, potential rolled like $20 bills, numbing the feeling on the tip of my tongue that I, or this tongue, should be serving a greater purpose. In the last-ditch attempt at self-assessment, I decided to look through the eyes of loved ones, for they see everything, especially the ugly. From years of drug use, from lying with to lying to angels, friends I had forsaken, taking so much more than I had given. I had streamlined self-centeredness into a science. But there was a righteousness there, a willingness to craft these ills through alchemy and poetry and to a seer stone. But honestly, how could I speak ugly to you when I was yet to speak it to myself? In these nightmares of hindsight, there is no poetry, no alliterations to soften the blow. Some realities have no simile. Truth is like truth. How could I form my lips to call your suicide a tragedy when I left you alone in that room? Kept company by narcotics and 1,000 ghosts draped in your disappointments. I can only imagine all the voices you heard, all but mine. Smear makeup on the disgust if you must. Trust the truth is seldom pretty, but she is always beautiful. It is in times like these that I need you to please talk ugly to me. My pain needs it. Too many times we caress sadness when it needs to be shaken, torn from its place of comfort, forced to grow wings to survive or die. Don't just tell me I can grow up and be whatever I want. Tell me that whatever I want better be something I'm willing to achieve, that dreams will dissipate under the weight of addiction, and that there is a distinct difference between living like a rock star and actually being one. Sometimes, no matter how many poems you've written, you're just a cokehead and a poser. Fear not. We are all divinely flawed individuals, perfectly ugly. There's no point hiding behind pretty lies. We are the sum of the hideous scars that hold together the remainder of our pretty pieces. The last time I saw you alive, the last time I saw you alive, the last time I saw you alive, I wish I would have talked ugly to you. It would have been the most beautiful thing I never said. Thank you. And now back to the voices of tomorrow. In this order, because you will be going in this order, in the order of your schools in the third round, I would like to hear a loud round of applause for Denitra McDonald, John Paul Libinati, and Felicity Ryan. Y'all ready to go? You ready? All right. Please put your hands together for Denitra McDonald.
All right. Eagle poem by Joy Harja. To pray you open your whole self, to sky, to earth, to sun, to moon, to one whole voice that is you, and know there is more that you can't see, can't hear, can't know, except in moments steadily growing and in languages that aren't always sound, but other circles of motion. Like eagle that Sunday morning over Salt River, circled in blue sky, in wind, swept our hearts clean with sacred wings. We see you, see ourselves, and know that we must take the utmost care and kindness in all things. Breathe in, knowing we are made of all this, and breathe, knowing we are truly blessed because we were born and die soon within a true circle of motion. Like eagle rounding out the morning inside us, we pray that it will be done in beauty. In beauty. Thank you.
Keep that energy going for our next competitor, John Paul Libanati.
I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. I wandered, lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Thank you.
And now for the last poem in the third round, please put your hands together for Felicity Ryan.
Time does not bring relief. You all have lied by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Time does not bring relief. You all have lied. Who told me time would ease me of my pain? I miss him in the weeping of the rain. I want him at the shrinking of the tide. The old snows melt from every mountainside, and last year's leaves are smoke in every lane. But last year's bitter loving must remain heaped on my heart, and my old thoughts abide. There are 100 places where I fear to go, so with his memory they brim, and entering with relief some quiet place where never fell his foot or shone his face, I say, there is no memory of him here, and so stand stricken, so remembering him. Thank you.
One more round of applause for every young person that touched the stage tonight. The student with the highest cumulative score will represent DC at the Poetry Out Loud National Finals at Listener Auditorium on April 24th. The judges need a minute to tally their votes, so we're going to take one final break to enjoy a set from DJ Stylus.
And now we're getting to the most exciting part of the evening. We're going to find out who is awarded. But before we do, one more time for all these wonderful students, for all their hard work, for their attention, their dedication. Every one of them is really a prize winner tonight. But it is the time where we announce the last three. So we're gonna give them some awards right now. And joining me now is our Vice Chair, Stacey Lee Banks. Thank you for joining me again. Are you ready for this?
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stand by. I have the list here. In third place, dramatic pause, Denitra McDonald. Well, that only leaves two. And so I'm going to announce the second place winner, John Paul Limonati. First place, Felicity Ryan. Well, congratulations to them all. Congratulations to our winner. We wish you the best. In particular, Felicity, as you move on to represent the District of Columbia at the national finals, we look forward to seeing you take home that title as well. You have our best wishes, right? We'll look forward to you joining us next year. Thank you. So long.